What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHE TV, and I've been rage baited by GAMERANT. I know everyone loves my opinion on K-pop Demon Hunters, but it seems I'm not the only one comparing it to Spider-Verse. With the title of this article being Things K-pop Demon Hunters Does Better Than the Spider-Verse Movies. I'm sure there's something here or there, but I have a feeling this SEO farming clickbait article is not going to have the strongest arguments. But let's see. I'm willing to hear it. On its face, I wouldn't mind someone preferring this movie, but am I going to believe that this is even written by a human being? Let's find out. Sony Pictures Animation is one of the best Western animation studios working in the movie industry right now, after making two excellent animated movies based off of Marvel's most famous superhero, Spider-Man. Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It recently released a new and original project titled K-pop Demon Hunters, which is now available to stream on Netflix. As its tradition with Sony Pictures Animation, K-pop Demon Hunters is yet another excellent action movie with a lot of heart and a unique animation style. However, fans of the studio and people who are only familiar with its two Spider-Man projects can't help but compare all of them to each other. Needless to say, the Spider-Verse duology and K-pop Demon Hunters are all incredible animated films, but there are a few things that the latter does much better than the former. Number 8, so I guess it's 8 things. Can you even think of 10? Clever music implementation. The excellent soundtrack actually plays a key role in the story. There's no denying that both of the Spider-Verse movies have high-quality soundtracks, which were composed by the great Daniel Pemberton, and feature songs written by famous professional musicians, like Post Malone and Metro Boomin. However, as amazing as these soundtracks are, they're still quite conventional in nature, since their music just plays in the background and very rarely plays a role in the plot. Maybe not literally, thematically, but also it's not a musical, so of course the plot isn't going to be them singing their feelings. That's what makes it a musical. Music fans are definitely going to enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters a little bit more, because most of the songs are actually diegetic, meaning that they actually exist within the fictional world of the movie. That double uses of actually so close to each other really bugs me, because most of the songs are actually diegetic, meaning that they actually exist. This makes a lot of sense, because this is a story about K-pop stars who use their music to create the Golden Hoon Moon. Is that really what it was called? So I guess it's supposed to be Hon Moon? I prefer the Golden Hoon Moon, a magical barrier that will seal the demons away. Fortunately, the soundtrack of this film is also fantastic, seeing as it was written by many professional Korean artists and producers, like Danny Chung, IDO, Vince, Kush, and more. Wait, you're winning me over so far. Number 7, more grounded action. It's perfect for fans of swords and other melee weapons. I don't think grounded is a word that should apply to either of these movies, but what's the argument? Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse are, first and foremost, superhero films, meaning that all their beautifully crafted action sequences feature multiple characters who can wield all sorts of incredible and over-the-top superpowers. On top of that, these are also films about multiverses, which makes their stakes even higher and their fight scenes even more overwhelming. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but moviegoers who may be looking for something more grounded that still has a lot of style will enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters a bit more. The three main characters in this movie, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, fight mostly by wielding mystical bladed weapons, a sword, a naginata, and a bunch of daggers, respectively, which makes their fight scenes a tad easier to follow. Not to mention that they also feature incredible choreography, colorful backgrounds, and catchy music. All of those things are in Spider-Verse. Number 6, more expressive characters. It features a lot of brilliant visual gags. It's funny to include these two frames where they're both extremely expressive characters. I would still say Spider-Verse is more expressive, with how much they utilize that art style to externalize the emotions of the characters through the color choice and all these graphic design elements. But the expressions are one of the things I actually really liked about Demon Hunters. It was super cartoonish and over the top in a good way. Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse have completely changed the animation industry for the better by encouraging other studios to experiment with new and unusual art styles. The animation in both of these movies is absolutely amazing, and they feature detailed choreography, colorful backgrounds, fluid movement, and excellent character design. The animation in K-pop Demon Hunters is not as good or as high quality as the animation in the Spider-Verse movies, but it's still quite solid, and it stands out in one specific but very important area: the expressiveness of its characters. The art style of K-pop Demon Hunters is clearly inspired by Asian animation, and as a result, the characters showcase all sorts of over-the-top but funny expressions. For example, the visual gag of Zoe and Mira creating popcorn from their eyes when they see the Saja boys is one of the best recurring jokes in the entire film. Man, they've rage baited me so hard. These arguments are terrible. More prominent female characters. The main cast is almost entirely made up of women, as opposed to just one. Every single character in the Spider-Verse movies is expertly it always starts by complimenting Spider-Verse first, from Miles Morales to Peter B. Parker, and even the villains like Kingpin or the Spot. However, it's kind of odd how the only prominent female character in this cast is Gwen Stacy, even though she's extremely likable and has a very interesting personal story. These movies are in dire need of more important female protagonists, and this is something that Sony may address and fix in Beyond the Spider-Verse. That's obviously not an issue in K-pop Demon Hunters, seeing as the main cast of the film is almost entirely made up of female characters. The Huntrix girls, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, are a lovable trio of protagonists, mainly because they all have their own personalities, motivations, and designs that help them stand out from each other. I mean, this is like a neutral point to me. The main characters are a girl band in one, and the main character of the other is a dude. They're just about different things, so the characters they highlight are slightly different. It's not like there are no female characters in Spider-Verse. Number 4, it appeals more to female audiences. Superhero movies are some of the most globally accepted forms of audio-visual entertainment in the world right now, and as a result, they are enjoyed by people of all genders. However, most of them are still clearly made with a mostly male audience in mind, and the Spider-Verse duology is no exception, especially because its narrative is told from the point of view of a teenage boy. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, and these movies are still very accessible, but it's clear that K-pop Demon Hunters was made with more of a female audience in mind, even though people of any gender, age, or culture can enjoy it as well. This movie's story speaks a lot about issues and themes that will resonate more with girls and women, like confidence, self-worth, the public image of women in the entertainment industry, etc. Not to mention that it obviously has a huge focus on K-pop, a form of music that appeals to a lot more women than men. I mean, it's definitely true. Like, I am not the target audience for this movie, which would have played a part into why I don't like it as much. I just wish the characters were written as well as the characters are in Spider-Verse. If it explored these themes better, then I probably would have enjoyed it more. I just felt like its attempt to acknowledge these things were pretty surface level, but I just felt like these themes were platitude level deep. When we got kids' films like Coco or something like this, has the cultural element, has the musical element, feels like it's about something a bit deeper than the K-pop industry and being popular and just shallow things like this. More Asian culture representation. This movie is a love letter to South Korea and K-pop in general. The Spider-Verse movies do an excellent job at representing numerous cultures from around the world. Miles Morales has African American and Puerto Rican heritage. Miguel O'Hara has Irish and Mexican heritage. Weirdly enough, however, these movies don't have much representation from Asian countries like Japan or South Korea, with the only exception being Penny Parker, who's more of a walking anime parody than anything else. At their core, the Spider-Verse movies are a melting pot of different cultures, which makes them appealing to an even broader audience, whereas K-pop Demon Hunters focuses mostly on representing South Korean culture. The film pulls this off not only by heavily featuring K-pop, which is one of the biggest pillars of South Koreans' modern culture, but also by implementing many unique mythological elements that are not commonly used in other American animated projects. Additionally, even the art style and monster designs of the movie are reminiscent of traditional Korean paintings. Again, it's like, well, of course it's going to represent the setting of the story better than the place that's set not in Korea and isn't about K-pop. Like, you're purposefully comparing apples and oranges. It's an original story, not based on any existing intellectual property. One of the biggest problems plaguing the Western animation industry and Hollywood in general right now is the lack of new and original ideas. Most popular films nowadays are remakes, reboots, sequels, or adaptations of pre-existing IPs. And the Spider-Verse films fall into that category as well, of course. These are still two of the best and most inventive animated Spider-Man adaptations in Marvel's history, but that doesn't change the fact that they're based on ideas created by someone else. On the other hand, K-pop Demon Hunters stands out for being a passion project, with an original setting, concept, characters, and world. This not only helps the movie stand out, but it also means the talented people in Hollywood are still occasionally allowed to showcase the new ideas that look and feel unlike anything else in the industry. If K-pop Demon Hunters is enough of a success for both Sony and Netflix, maybe both companies will be encouraged to greenlight more original projects in the future, or at the very least, 58 sequels to this movie. That was another one of my unfortunate issues, was it's an original setting, but with a story we've seen 100 million times before. Number 1, it's a complete story. Fans won't have to wait for a sequel to witness its ending. You're cherry picking like mad. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is still highly regarded, oh my god, as one of the best animated films ever made. Unfortunately, its sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, is not too far behind. However, while the original film was celebrated for being a complete story with a clear beginning and end, its sequel was heavily criticized for having an open ending that won't be resolved until the release of the third entry, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. These caveats, of course, Across the Spider-Verse is still a wonderful movie on its own, but this unresolved conclusion left a bad taste in most fans' mouths, especially considering that the development of Beyond the Spider-Verse has been quite tumultuous. Fortunately for fans of Sony Pictures Animation, the studio's most recent project doesn't share the same fate. K-pop Demon Hunters is a complete story with a clear beginning and end. It can be fully enjoyed in under 2 hours. Yes, there are some plot elements that may be expanded on in a sequel or spin-off, but at least it doesn't have an open ending. Just wait for them to release K-pop Demon Hunters 2 Part 1, then you'll be sorry. But if you're comparing the first movies, then Spider-Verse is complete. And as long as the third one's up to snuff, I don't inherently have an issue with it. It's more how they treated the animators and how long they're taking that's the problem, and how they kind of concealed it as much as they could in the marketing. Let's look at the comments. While I think K-pop Demon Hunters is one of the best animated movies of the year, and that it does a lot of things better than the Spider-Verse duology, it's nowhere near as good as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in my opinion, which I still consider one of the best animated films ever made. I'm with Julian on this one. I can actually agree on these. I absolutely loved the film. It was surprisingly good. They are beautiful. I absolutely love both movies, but they both have different plots, and to be fair, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse isn't made as a musical. Yeah, exactly. So K-pop Demon Hunters is bound to have better music. Overall, I think both movies are amazing. Oh, Deadpool's getting angry. This is my alt account. It did nothing better than Spider-Verse at all. Spider-Verse still is better than this movie. It's already getting a third movie, so obviously K-pop is lacking because it became a Netflix movie while Spider-Verse is making more money. So stop saying fake information. Terrible argument as well. Who cares that it made more money? It might not even be true at a certain point. We've got the defense squad coming in. Spider-Verse, while a movie that was enjoyed a lot, has frustrating elements because of the open ending. Also, some of the credit of sequels is because it's the original IP. Executives trusted it more. While K-pop Demon Hunters was released on Netflix already, all of the audience wished it was released in theaters and are begging for a second movie. This shows that it has come up as underdog with lower budget that no one expected to win but has won. Only time will tell us if the movie will make money or not. Maybe with a sequel. How K-pop Demon Hunters will make money? Merch. So I guess there are some people that argue in the comment section of GAMERANT. That's funny to know. That's a nice way to start off the day, nice and rage baited by this shoddily put together article. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on these arguments, points, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.